about the difference between the mind and the heart?
Well, you know, now we're getting into the arenas of soul and spirit.
Yes.
It's clear that what it is we feel and believe and what is possible and probably what is true is more closely aligned to what we feel in the heart than what we know in our heads. And it's quite simply because the heart knows things that the mind can't conceive. The heart dares to imagine. The heart believes what it is that the mind has to know. To subordinate the intuitive aspect of soul, you know, Karen's great achievements and contributions, is to subordinate this aspect of self to a secondary status. That in modern science, we believe the Cartesian equation, that everything can be explained, and if you can't explain it, it's only because we haven't yet articulated the right question. That if only you could ask the right question, that everything could be known. When you come from the intuitive place, from the soulful place, you understand that it's not so important to know it. It's important to allow yourself to channel some aspect of the truth that allows you to move beyond your limitations.
Now, in the West, for hundreds of years, perhaps, since the beginning of anything we could call medicine, other than virtual witchcraft, we have used this formula. What about the rest of the world?
Well, you know, indigenous people have never used that formula. You know, what we see as science, they see as magic. What we see as magic, they see as science. It's simply an alternative viewpoint. The fact that people can get well by being touched, sung over, by sitting in the middle of a sand painting and identifying with the heroic object and then incorporating the power of that symbolic object, and it allows you to move beyond your limitations and take steps into the future, that's quite ordinary. And they look at nuclear medicine as some kind of magical phenomenon. It doesn't have to be so either or, but it's clear.
Well, I need to interject something here. We have our own form of magic. I mean, I see people pulling out beads, praying on beads, lighting candles, praying in front of statues. They're called Catholics. and this is a form of magic for the outsider, and everybody has their form of magic. When we run out of our capacity to reason with a situation, we turn to our form of magic that is inherent within our tradition. And that form comes from our religion.
Well, I agree. I think that there are some questions that don't have any answer, so we can all agree on that.
Well, the amazing thing about prayer as a response is that it works. No matter what tradition you have, there have been scientific studies that have been done on the effect of prayer.
Well. And since it's scientific, Claude, it doesn't matter that for thousands of years, simply the fact is prayer works. But now that science says it, that makes it official.
Now,
how Western?
Well, we are in the West, you know, and we have to be able to talk to Westerners, and this is how they think. And so there are two paradigms here, and I think it's really important to have a way for those two paradigms to communicate with each other and to hopefully end up in a new paradigm which combines the best of each. I mean,
I'll tell you
there
what,
are lots of
the fascinating thing with this whole thing too is that in medicine we actually do have ritual, and it is ritual, and we don't know it.
Yeah.
I mean, when we go into surgery, we do the whole ritualistic thing of washing our hands, putting on robes, putting on a whole new garment, so that when we go in there, we become priests, and we don't even know that that's what we're doing.
And no one knows why aspirin works.
No.
And the placebo effect works, and no one knows why that works
That's
either.
right. And,
no one in medicine, at least.
Doctors are supposed to put on a white coat and walk into their office, and we don't think that's ritual.
Right.
It really is, because basically, at a soul level, we all need some sort of ritual.